was a major flap over the final play in last night's NFL game between Green Bay and Seattle. The Seahawks won that game on a controversial call that has a lot of people upset with the entire league, as well as the commissioner, Roger Goodell. Now, this is the play. As time runs out, Seattle throws a last-ditch Hail Mary. Looks like Green Bay's M.D. Jennings has it, and Seattle's Golden Tate trying to wrestle it away. Well, one ref, watch, calls the play dead, but the other calls a Seattle touchdown. After review, Seattle was awarded that touchdown, and they win the game. Now, the whole thing set off a firestorm of responses on social media that include everybody from the fans to the players to President Obama himself. San Jose Mercury News sportswriter Marc Purdy joining me now. Thanks so much for coming. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Where do we begin with this? People are really upset because it appears to be a bad call on several levels, and now it's compounded with the whole fact that the NFL is using replacement refs and the whole thing.
Right. This was kind of the whole weekend was bad in terms of the officiating. People may not, the regular refs are locked out because they're in a contract dispute with the owners, so we've got replacement refs. Some of these guys work small college football. All of a sudden they're on these big stadiums doing this, and I think a lot of them just, it's too big for them. And, that was a bad call. It was a bad, the NFL put out a statement today, Brent.
Right.
They actually said the bad call was that the Golden Tate, the Seattle receiver, pushed the Green Bay cornerback away to get to the ball.
So
and that should be offensive pass interference. Right. But interesting, the NFL said it was actually correct to rule that it was simultaneous possession and a touchdown. That part of it was correct, but there should have been a pass interference call on this.
And that would have ended the thing. All right, so a lot of people say, you mentioned this lockout that's going on, and a lot of people say that the amount of money that the regular refs wanted is just kind of a drop in the bucket for the NFL and its owners, and really they're fighting this thing, and it's really impacting the game over a relatively small sum of money. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it is a small sum of money, but the fight is only peripherally about money. It's really about we don't want to get into all the geeky stuff, but it's about, there's a pension issue, there's an issue about, a lot of people aren't aware, the NFL officials are part-time guys. They're part-time guys, so during the week they're principals or they're lawyers, and so those guys want to be more full-time. The NFL wants only 7 guys to work full-time, so there's that issue. And I don't know where this is going to go, but I would say after this last weekend, there were so many bad. I was in Minneapolis at the 49er game, and the officials opened that game by calling a penalty for a rule that is not in the rule book, blocking in the back by the kicking team. The kicking team's trying to tackle people, not block people. So it's a mess. The commissioner is at the point of this, but it's really the owners behind him. And the owners want to control the game. They think it's their game, and they're not going to let the officials tell them how to run the game. And that's really what it's about.
So what do you think is going to happen? Because you mentioned just kind of the bad playing calling. We're focusing on this one game because it came down to one play, and the outcome of that game was decided on that play. But as you mentioned, there's other calls going on all throughout other games, week in and week out. Some people are saying that it could be a safety issue. Other people are saying it really hinders the very integrity of the game.
And then there are people in Las Vegas, Brent, who bet on the games, believe it or not.
Well, in fact, I think they're issuing refunds for the people who bet on this game last night.
I don't know, but somebody said $250 million was affected in legal betting by what happened last night. Yeah, it's a mess. It's still only football. Let's keep that in mind. I don't know that I buy. There are 3 things actually. One is, the irregular officials make mistakes too. All right, I think these guys are about 60 to 70% as good as those regular officials, so you're going to see more mistakes. Okay, the second thing is that yes, some people say it's putting the players at risk injury-wise. I sort of buy that. But the big thing is the games are just not being run properly, and the viewers are pretty sophisticated about it. But I don't know that the NFL is going to give in, because guess what? Ratings are higher than ever.
I was just going to bring that point up. I was going to say, all right, so we're seeing this social media blitz. There's reports that Goodell's phone number was given out, and he got some 70,000 calls. People are mad. We're seeing even players get on social media. But bottom line is, I believe that SportsCenter, right after the game last night, was the highest-rated SportsCenter in 17 years. And the other night, when you had the Emmys on and you had a Sunday night game, the Sunday night game got higher ratings. The NFL could say, you know what, we're doing just fine, and we're keeping it the way it is.
That's right, and I believe that Sunday night game might have been on this channel, right?
It was.
Yes, and so those ratings are what people look at, and maybe people are going to tune in to see who's going to make the next refereeing mistake, right? The NFL is the biggest reality show on television. And, you know, like reality shows, some people tune in to watch train wrecks, right? So I don't know that if people want this to be over, if people are disgusted by this, want this to be over, they're going to have to stop watching games on TV and stop buying tickets. But the season tickets are mostly already sold. Or they're going to have to boycott the sponsors and have them put pressure on it. Right. I don't see any of that happening. The players have raised a fuss about this. The Players Union sent a letter to the commissioner. But again, are the players not going to give up a paycheck to do that?
Well, some of them are saying that because they are tweeting and saying things that they can get fined for, and they say, fine me, and then give that money to the refs and get them back here. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you know, the saga will continue.
It will, definitely. And you can read more about it. Marc wrote something in the Mercury News about it, too. But thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes on.